Oh my God, a leaf!
We're never going to make it! Oh my God!
We made it!
Of course we made it. It's a 4x4. But why do so many of you buy them? Also on tonight's Top Gear, exclusive from Frankfurt, what's hot at this week's motor show. Goggles on for Tiff in one of Britain's primo classic racing events. And what price fashion? About 30 grand apparently. Vicky test drives the ultimate accessory.
America, the country where good taste has reached its zenith. Look what they've given us. McDonald's, line dancing, gangster rap. Now they want to give us something else. Pickup trucks.
To be a true man in America, apparently, you need a good dog, a good gun, and a good pickup, but not necessarily in that order. In the US, the pickup is the best-selling car of any type. Last year, they bought a staggering 3.1 million of them. And now the Japanese are trying to sell them to us. This is the Nissan Twin Cab, and that is the Mitsubishi L200 for life. Now, you may think it's the perfect thing for a jobbing builder, but actually they're aimed at people who play golf, muck around with horses, lark about in jet skis.
Or lug around other dubious leisure paraphernalia. The thing with these is they may be Japanese, but they have a worryingly American feel to them. You might want to wear a Stetson and cowboy boots in Texas, but would you wear them in Tunbridge Wells?
And are they really what the British have been waiting for?
I lost my lucky ball and chain. Now she's 4 years gone. She's 5 feet tall and sick of me. And all my
Now I know precisely what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm going to point and laugh openly at this L200 for life. You think I'm going to tear it to pieces, limb from limb. Well, I would like to. I really, really would, but I can't because it actually drives quite well. The 2.5 turbocharged intercooler diesel has got plenty of torque. It rides well. I've been going over furrows, sheep, sleeping farmers, and it's fine. Plus, look, I've got 4 electrically operated windows, electrically operated mirrors, central locking, outside temperature gauge, even a little spirit level that tells me when I'm going to tip it over. So it's not nearly as bad as it looks.
I just stood there whistling. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked.
Now, I may be a simple soul, but I know that if I want something plain and uncomplicated to eat, I'll go for a rich tea biscuit. If I'm feeling rich and opulent, I might go for a chocolate eclair. But rarely would I want the two at the same time, which is exactly what you get with this Nissan. Lots of chocolate and cream on the outside, and inside, just plain and uncomplicated. Nothing to worry about. You have to wind down the windows yourself. There's lots of white down plastic so you don't care about it getting dirty. And it just goes. It's got a 2.5-litre turbo diesel engine, double wishbone suspension at the front, so it'll just bounce you merrily wherever you want to go. It's just thoroughly pleasant in a simple, uncomplicated sort of way.
I lost my lucky ball and chain. Now she's 4 years gone. She's 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She walked away from a happy man. I thought I was so cool. I just stood there whistling. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked out the door.
But if you feel your pickup doesn't stick out enough, don't worry, because there's a whole subculture of add-on accessories. Enrich your life with this plastic, chromium-plated stick-on rear light guard.
Impress your friends with these shiny plastic stick-on wing mirror covers.
Garnish your spare wheel with this handy cover. You can even write things on it.
Bridge the gap twixt road and door with this fashionable side step. What is the world coming to?
The Dukes of Hazzard have a lot to answer for.
So what do you think about yours then?
Well, underneath all the chrome there's a decent pickup trying to get out, but it's too overdone, too many toys.
You see, mine hasn't got any toys on the inside at all, which is fine, but what I hate is all this nonsense on the outside, which presumably you have to pay a load of money for.
£18,000 for that, £20,000 for this.
Well, that's nuts. You could buy a Jeep for that.
Indeed you could, and the dog would stay dry. Let me stun you with a weighty fact. Did you know that in 1990, only 27,000 off-roaders were sold, but in 1998 it was 99,000. That is almost 5% of all the cars sold in this country.
That's quite weighty.
But I want to know, how many of those 99,000 ever go near that?
Whether you want to drive them in the mud or not, these beasts are incredibly popular and they're getting more and more snazzed up. In fact, the fatter your wallet, the snazzier you can go.
And more expensive. Range Rover now claim they're a luxury brand, third behind BMW and Jaguar. I mean, if you want the basic poverty spec model of one of these, we're talking 41,000.
Well, clench your buttocks, Quentin, because this autobiography is 63,000.
But don't worry, because all that dosh buys you buckets of leather trim and wood bits and electric seats and sat-nav and a clear stereo. In fact, all the things you need for the all-terrain adventure that is the school run.
But that is nothing. On the option list is also a fridge, a fax machine, a minibar, and best of all, look at this. A video player. In the back, you watch it through these two screens on the headrests. How about that?
It's not a car, it's a hotel room.
No, that's where you're wrong, because a trouser press is about the only thing that isn't on the option list. But I'll tell you what else is. If you were rich, or indeed mad enough, you could specify things like personalised wood, personalised leather, which would bring the price of your Range Rover autobiography up, if you ticked all the boxes on the option list, to £100,000, which would mean you'd be absolutely daft even to go near a blade of grass.
I wouldn't even want to take it out of the garage.
Precisely, which is the only reason why you spend that sort of money on these, is because they're nice and high and you can look down on the poor.
Or because people feel safe in them, which is a shame really, because if you have an accident in a 4x4, you're actually 3 times more likely to roll than you are in a normal car. Having said that, you cannot deny the Range Rover's off-road ability, and it's not nearly as daft looking as some of the other 4x4s. Although the market for new 4x4s is growing year by year, the market for second-hand ones is dropping off a bit because people are terrified of enormous servicing costs and great guzzling fuel bills. But if you do want a second-hand one, may we recommend a car that won't lose you money hand over fist and is a hell of a lot cooler than either of these two glamour pussies could ever be.
I think for this sort of age, what a Land Rover offers you is unbeatable.
It'll hold its value as well. There's not a lot of cars you can buy which are 20 years old that you still have to pay a lot of money for.
They're quite simple to work on yourself if you're slightly mechanically minded.
You know, it doesn't matter how much taffeta and tinsel you put on all the Mitsubishis and Nissans in the world, they'll never ever come close to eclipsing this, the integrity of a good old Land Rover.
It is fantastic. It's a great big mud-munching monster and I love it.
But it gets better and better, you know, because these things are cheap. This is a G-Reg, 110-inch wheelbase with a canvas top at the back. We're talking 4,000 quid. And if you want parts, well, it's pre-war prices, pre-Crimea War, that is. How about a grille for a tenner, a headlamp for £8, or a front bumper for 36? That's cheap.
And insurance is a bit of a bargain as well, because a 21-year-old living in the Midlands could insure this for £500 third-party fire and theft and £700 fully comp. And that is a 21-year-old, I repeat.
I've been through rivers up to my neck.
Malaya, Borneo,
I've done shifting sands.
Oman, Cyprus,
I've done snow last year. We went to Patagonia.
and throughout the UK,
I've had a fair look at the world in a Land Rover.
and I've not walked back yet.
They are an acquired taste. They're not to everybody's liking.
You can park them on the King's Road or you can park them on the top of a mountain. You can take them anywhere.
I find you either love them or you hate them, but if you love them, then they're with you forever.
So when it comes to off-roaders, ignore the L200, walk past the Nissan double cab and save yourself 60 grand on a Range Rover. By the only off-roader that's been there, done that, but doesn't need to wear the T-shirt.
or had one of those silly chrome wing mirror things,
Or those ridiculously stupid chrome plastic light guards.
or one of those